Now at 9, reaction after a verdict is reached in the criminal trial of former President Donald Trump.
Russia is escalating its attacks on Ukraine, and now other countries around the world are changing their tune about allowing Ukraine to use Western weapons in Russia. In London, I'm Alex Hogan. I'll have more on this story coming up.
And a 4-state library helps teens turn the page into adulthood.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Reaction pouring in after a 12-person jury found former President Donald Trump guilty today. This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. After not even 2 full days of deliberations, the jury found the former president guilty on all 34 counts in his criminal hush money trial in New York, and that jury has now been dismissed. Fox News correspondent Connor Hansen has the latest from Manhattan.
This was a rigged, disgraceful trial.
Minutes after 12 jurors found Donald Trump guilty on all 34 counts, the former president delivering a message to the American people.
It's okay. I'm fighting for our country. I'm fighting for our Constitution.
Trump, who was indicted in connection with a hush money payment to an adult film star ahead of the 2016 presidential election, now faces a maximum sentence of 4 years in prison.
There were people who clearly were thrilled by the result, and there were people that will be very sad by it. I was saddened to watch it. I disagree with this verdict.
Jurors reaching their conclusion after asking the judge overseeing the trial to review testimony from David Pecker and Michael Cohen, as well as directions guiding deliberations.
While this defendant may be unlike any other in American history, we arrived at this trial and ultimately today at this verdict in the same manner as every other case that comes through the courtroom doors, by following the facts and the law and doing so without fear or favor.
Despite the verdict, neither the conviction nor any sentence prevents Trump from running for president.
The real verdict is going to be November 5th by the people, and they know what happened here, and everybody knows what happened here.
That was Connor Hansen reporting. Trump's sentencing is set for July 11th. What exact sentence the former president will receive will be up to the judge alone. Missouri Senator Josh Hawley weighed in on today's verdict, saying, quote, "This is America under Democrat rule." And former Kansas Attorney General Derek Schmidt said of the verdict in part, quote, "This is a dark day for the American justice system." A Seneca, Missouri man pleads guilty to multiple felony and misdemeanor charges, including assaulting law enforcement during the January 6, 2021 breach of the U.S. Capitol. 27-year-old Kyler Joseph Bard of Seneca pleaded guilty to 2 felonies, including assaulting, resisting, or impeding certain officers and civil disorder. In addition to the felonies, Bard pleaded guilty to 4 misdemeanors. And Newton County deputies are looking for a man they're calling an armed and dangerous suspect in an early morning homicide. Joshua Taft is wanted on felony warrants for second-degree murder, endangering the welfare of a child, armed criminal action, and unlawful possession of a firearm. Deputies found 50-year-old Eric Whittington dead on Freddie Lane in Joplin. Investigators say Taft and Whittington fought before Whittington's death. If you have information about Taft's location, contact local authorities. Well, meteorologist Lindsay Gaffney joins us with a first look at weather.
Well, we've had some showers in the area passing by. Now, temperatures are starting to cool off. Still a little bit warmer off in the eastern counties, 71 in Stockton and Nevada, 71 in Joplin as well, but cooler, 65 in Independence, 66 in Sedan, and 66 in Yates Center. So a little bit cooler off to the west as we saw those showers bring in a cooler air mass. Now, it was a stationary front, meaning a cold front has caught up to a warm front. So typically moves a little bit slower, mostly down in Arkansas. They're having a lot more of those rain showers than we got earlier today. Now, for the next couple of days, we do have some more rain showers and scattered thunderstorms. Although the threat is pretty low, we are still expecting those to come in the afternoon on Friday, so we'll have more details in just a bit.
Thanks, Lindsay. Crawford County Historical Museum is playing host to an American Revolution exhibit this week. The exhibit is a collaborative project of the American Battlefield Trust and the National Society Daughters of the American Revolution. The exhibition includes interactive digital kiosks that use storytelling, illustration, technology, and unique artifacts and primary accounts.
This exhibit was offered through a combination of American Battlefield Trust and the Daughters of the American Revolution, and they put this together so this exhibit could be sent around the United States, especially to rural areas.
The exhibit will remain open and free to the public through June 6th. Miami Public Library hosted Preparing for the Big Adventure today. The event's goal is to help local teenagers get ready for adulthood. KOAM's Fernanda Silva tells us how the initiative helps students.
It makes it a lot less stressful, just getting to know people around the area. For me, one of my quotes that I live by is that life is made by the connections that you make with people. And that's really what your life is just connections.
Junior Alexander Long is all about networking and getting ready for his future. The perfect fit to attend the event organized by the Miami Public Library.
Well, I learned that there's a lot of finance companies around here that I can get some really good resources for to start savings accounts and get help with my taxes and all that fun stuff.
Long was joined by almost 50 other students who, just like him, are part of the Upward Bound program. According to the program director, the initiative is very important for these students.
We like to teach them how to network in the community so that as they are looking for jobs, as they're looking for careers, and then also where they want to go for college in the future, they're just going to have these networks that they can come to these people and get some questions answered.
Their teams had the chance to learn about college, careers, loans, taxes, and other things related to adult life. The event aims to fill a gap.
I know a lot of teens always say that, no one ever prepares them to do their taxes or anything like that. So this resource always helps them, find where to go to get that.
And to broaden their perspectives.
It helps them in a lot of different ways. They can learn about networking, meeting people that are in the businesses now. So if they're, preparing for that type of career, and also just learning about things that they may not even know that they need.
In Miami, Fernanda Silva, KOAM News.
Miami Public Library will host more events focused on teens during the summer. To learn more about that, you can go to our website at koamnewsnow.com. Well, coming up, ahead of World No Tobacco Day on May 31st, the World Health Organization is ramping up calls for people to quit using tobacco products. That story next in Health Watch. Tomorrow marks World No Tobacco Day. It's an annual World Health Organization campaign designed to sound the alarm over the potentially deadly effects of using tobacco. And this year, officials are raising new red flags over the tobacco industry's efforts to try and hook new customers. Fox News' Ted Linder takes a closer look.
Tobacco use is triggering new calls for action as the World Health Organization accuses the tobacco industry of targeting young people in a new report called Hooking the Next Generation.
They're paying ads and product placements with streaming services. And they have partnerships with food delivery services so that you can get your e-cigarettes through the app right at your door.
Worldwide, the research reveals roughly 37 million teens between the ages of 13 and 15 use tobacco products. When it comes to e-cigarettes, the report says many countries are seeing higher use among kids than adults, something experts attribute to the availability of tempting flavors.
Bubblegum, vanilla ice cream, cookies, all aimed for children.
In the U.S., the WHO report found more than 70% of adolescent e-cigarette users would not be using them if they only came in tobacco flavor. While the Food and Drug Administration has taken action against vaping and flavored e-cigarettes, many illegal products can be found online and in stores.
We are calling on governments to ban all these flavors.
The WHO cites prior studies that show e-cigarette use in young people can increase their chances of smoking traditional cigarettes by 3 times. The CDC says tobacco use is the leading preventable cause of cancer and cancer deaths. But tobacco can also increase your risk for heart and lung disease, diabetes, stroke, and more. Ted Linder, Fox News.
Reports from patients and their partners about memory issues could predict biological changes in the brain associated with Alzheimer's disease. Well, among 675 participants, researchers found those who self-reported a decline in their cognitive function had certain chemicals associated with Alzheimer's in their brains. The same went for people whose cognitive decline was noticed by their partners. Epilepsy drugs taken while pregnant do not appear to affect children's creativity. A study published in Neurology tested more than 300 4.5-year-olds, and researchers found no differences in the creativity scores between those born to mothers taking epilepsy medication and children whose mothers did not have epilepsy. Well, Lindsay is next with a complete look at your forecast, and later the Royals take on the Twins. John Dales has that story and more in sports.
Well, we've had some showers in the area, luckily nothing severe, so let's go ahead and take a look outside. Earlier today out in Joplin from the Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex, some overcast conditions, some showers, but luckily, like I said, nothing too severe. Although can't say the same for out in Texas. They've got a lot of severe thunderstorm warnings and watches, as well as some flood risk down there. And most of the rain showers are also in Arkansas. So in our area, we remained pretty clear. A few showers, a few thunderstorms, but nothing too crazy. But we do have those chances continuing on through Friday. So this is the overnight hours into early Friday morning. A few more scattered showers, isolated showers still continuing into the early morning hours. But as we move into the early afternoon to mid-afternoon, we're starting to see that spike up a little bit. So afternoon, more scattered showers, and then closer to about 4, 5, 6 p.m. it's going to rain a little bit heavier than what we're seeing. So that's where we're going to see that main threat of stronger storms. Falls off after early morning hours on Saturday, and then we've got absolutely no chance for rain all day Saturday. So the weekend's looking pretty good, which is really what we want to see, a nice, warm, sunny weekend ahead. Now let's take a look at that future track. So this is midnight tonight. We've got those showers still in the eastern counties, but this is still just a model run, so it's more isolated than this. And Bella Vista getting hit pretty hard with some heavy rainfall, so watch out for some localized flooding tonight out there. And then a few more scattered showers, scattered thunderstorms into the early morning hours. So this is Friday, 4:30 in the morning. Still Bella Vista getting those stronger rain showers. Those continue north, so Joplin's getting hit about 9:30 in the morning on Friday, and most of the Missouri counties also getting some rain in the early morning hours. Those continue and start to spark up a little bit afternoon. 12:30 on Friday, we've got those isolated, stronger storms pushing through right along that Kansas-Missouri border and just north of Joplin, the Carthage-Carl Junction region, maybe just south of Nevada, and Bella Vista still getting hit pretty hard. So main concern for Bella Vista is some localized flooding out there as well. And they're just getting hit pretty hard with some stronger rain showers in that area. So we did see a pretty low severe threat with these storms, but we are going to keep an eye on them. Main threat still going to just be that localized flooding with all of these rain showers passing through, typically over the same areas, and some cloud-to-ground lightning as well. Cloud-to-ground lightning is still a threat for severe weather, but we're not seeing much hail. Tornadoes definitely not, or any other kind of strong wind damage threat for any of these thunderstorms. And as we continue on, we see those strengthen, especially off on the Missouri side, and then they'll start to push off east for a nice Saturday, and those continue. Few clouds in the area, but overall pretty nice on Saturday, and that trend continues all the way through Sunday. So we're looking at a pretty nice weekend ahead.
At least we know when it's going to rain tomorrow for sure. All right, thanks, Lindsay. Well, coming up, safety first.
Boeing says it has a plan to keep passengers safe. I'm Caroline Shively in Washington. I'll have that story coming up.
You're watching the 4 states' most watched news.
And there should be a downtown Pittsburgh image up here.
You're watching the 4 states' most watched news.
Okay, cool. Do you need to do the rest of it, or? Okay, cool. In the F block? Today, Boeing presented a new safety plan to the federal government, meeting a federally mandated deadline for improving production of its 737 MAX jet. As Fox's Caroline Shively reports from Washington, the plan comes following several high-profile incidents involving Boeing jets.
After a series of safety problems, including a near catastrophic mid-air blowout of a door plug on a 737, Boeing officials met with the Federal Aviation Administration on Thursday to lay out their new safety plan for all of its aircraft.
Boeing has laid out their roadmap, and now they need to execute.
The Boeing plan includes increased employee training, a stronger anonymous reporting system from employees, increased input from users, including pilots, and improvements to their manufacturing process. The FAA required Boeing to create the plan to address their systemic quality control issues after the January door plug incident on an Alaska Airlines flight out of Portland. The National Transportation Safety Board blames loose bolts for the blowout on the 737 MAX 9 aircraft. But whistleblowers have since come forward claiming larger problems at the industry giant, including on their production lines.
Bottom line, we will continue to make sure every airplane that comes off the line is safe and reliable, regardless of how many planes Boeing builds.
This all comes 5 years after 2 deadly 737 crashes killed 346 people.
Boeing pledged safety improvements then, and as has become so clear after Alaska 1282, that was more smoke and mirrors than it was action.
The crisis at Boeing led the FAA to force the company to slow their production of the 737 MAX, which has forced some airlines to slow their plans to increase their fleets. In Washington, Caroline Shively, Fox News.
Nissan issues a do not drive warning to the owners of more than 80,000 older vehicles. The company says the recalled Takata airbag inflators could explode in a crash and propel dangerous metal fragments. The pieces could cause death or serious injury. Owners can get their inflators repaired for free at a Nissan dealership. The recall affects certain models of the Nissan Sentra, Pathfinder, and Infiniti QX4 made between 2002 and 2006. Well, the Biden administration rejects a deal that would have given them partial control over TikTok, compromise that TikTok thought might help them avoid an all-out ban. The deal did not solve the problem, which is TikTok owned by a Beijing business, meaning the Chinese Communist Party has influence over it. The Washington Post reports the deal on the table would give the U.S. government veto power over each new hire at TikTok, let a defense contractor monitor TikTok's source code, and give the feds a kill switch to shut down the app if anything were to go haywire. Republicans say this half-measure fix floated by TikTok would have made the U.S. operate just like the Chinese Communist Party. Well, the nation's second largest pharmacy retailer, Walgreens, announced it is cutting prices on 1,300 items, including snacks and feminine products. It comes as Americans continue to grapple with inflation. Other major retailers, including Target, have also announced price cuts to thousands of products this year. And Subway's footlong cookie is back nationwide. The oversized chocolate chip cookie will be sold for $5 at some locations. The cookie was pulled from some markets weeks after its January debut due to demand, with more than 5 million sold. That's according to Subway. I'm told it's good if it's warm. Well, 2 longtime four-state McDonald's operators receive a special surprise. That story coming up next. McDonald's honors a couple of owner-operators with a surprise 1 in 8 event. Glenn Nichols and Phil Close have served their communities for more than 4 decades, not just with McDonald's, but through their involvement with local programs. And today, the company recognized the pair for their years of service with custom-made, limited edition McDonald's 1 in 8 Letterman jackets.
Well, the communities have been very good to us and our restaurants and our employees, and it's just the right thing to do. When the community takes care of you, we need to in turn take care of the community and take care of them.
Well, because McDonald's is all about people, and people are a business, and people, I like people, I enjoy dealing with people, and it seemed to me a lot of people have asked me how is McDonald's different than the school business, It's not different at all.
The 1 in 8 designation, in case you're wondering, refers to the fact that 1 out of every 8 Americans have worked at a McDonald's at some point in their lives. Well, 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports is coming your way. The city of Pittsburgh hosts a downtown community conversation. Plus, the U.S. softens its stance on Ukraine, using American weapons to attack Russia.
Well, we've had some showers in the area, luckily nothing severe, so let's go ahead and take a look outside. Earlier today out in Joplin from the Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex, some overcast conditions, some showers, but luckily, like I said, nothing too severe. Although can't say the same for out in Texas. They've got a lot of severe thunderstorm warnings and watches, as well as some flood risk down there. And most of the rain showers are also in Arkansas. So in our area, we remained pretty clear. A few showers, a few thunderstorms, but nothing too crazy. But we do have those chances continuing on through Friday. So this is the overnight hours into early Friday morning. A few more scattered showers, isolated showers still continuing into the early morning hours. But as we move into the early afternoon to mid-afternoon, we're starting to see that spike up a little bit. So afternoon, more scattered showers, and then closer to about 4, 5, 6 p.m. it's going to rain a little bit heavier than what we're seeing. So that's where we're going to see that main threat of stronger storms. Falls off after early morning hours on Saturday, and then we've got absolutely no chance for rain all day Saturday. So the weekend's looking pretty good, which is really what we want to see, a nice, warm, sunny weekend ahead. Now, let's take a look at that future track. So this is midnight tonight. We've got those showers still in the eastern counties, but this is still just a model run, so it's more isolated than this. And Bella Vista getting hit pretty hard with some heavy rainfall, so watch out for some localized flooding tonight out there. And then a few more scattered showers, scattered thunderstorms into the early morning hours. So this is Friday, 4:30 in the morning. Still, Bella Vista getting those stronger rain showers. Those continue north, so Joplin's getting hit about 9:30 in the morning on Friday, and most of the Missouri counties also getting some rain in the early morning hours. Those continue and start to spark up a little bit afternoon. 12:30 on Friday, we've got those isolated, stronger storms pushing through right along that Kansas-Missouri border and just north of Joplin, the Carthage-Carl Junction region, maybe just south of Nevada, and Bella Vista still getting hit pretty hard. So main concern for Bella Vista, some localized flooding out there as well. They're just getting hit pretty hard with some stronger rain showers in that area. So we did see a pretty low severe threat with these storms, but we are going to keep an eye on them. Main threat still going to just be that localized flooding with all of these rain showers passing through, typically over the same areas, and some cloud to ground lightning as well. Cloud to ground lightning is still a threat for severe weather, but we're not seeing much hail, tornadoes definitely not, or any other kind of strong wind damage threat for any of these thunderstorms. And as we continue on, we see those strengthen, especially off on the Missouri side, and then they'll start to push off east for a nice Saturday, and those continue. Few clouds in the area, but overall pretty nice on Saturday, and that trend continues all the way through Sunday. So we're looking at a pretty nice weekend ahead.
All right, thanks, Lindsay. Well, a new exhibition in London is unlocking some surprising secrets about birds. Tina Kraus shows us how they go back to the dinosaur ages.
So the giant elephant bird laid the world's largest eggs.
Some of the world's most brilliant and bizarre birds are on display at London's Natural History Museum.
It's looking at birds as survivors, the amazing adaptations that they have that have made them one of the most successful animal groups on the planet.
The exhibition starts in the time of the dinosaurs, 150 million years ago, when the first birds began to emerge.
Evidence is now conclusive that birds are a type of dinosaur, and that birds flourished in the time of the dinosaurs across the world. They flew alongside pterosaurs and above Tyrannosaurus rex.
Just weeks ago, a Chicago museum unveiled a rare fossil called Archaeopteryx, one of the earliest known dinosaurs that also qualifies as a bird.
Archaeopteryx is the one fossil that tells us that the birds outside our window are living dinosaurs, and I think that is so cool.
All of the non-bird dinosaurs were wiped out when an asteroid hit Earth 66 million years ago. But a few birds survived, and our feathered friends went on to thrive. There are now more than 11,000 species.
But with a nearly 50% decline in bird species globally, what they're saying to us is that we have got ecosystems which are in trouble.
Experts are urging people to help prevent the second extinction of the dinosaurs by helping to save the birds. Tina Kraus, CBS News.
Well, the National Audubon Society has some tips for protecting birds, including planting native plants for them, putting up window stickers to prevent bird collisions, and building a brush pile for birds to offer shelter to the creatures in all seasons. Well, coming up in sports, the Joplin Outlaws played their first home game of the 2024 season. Plus, the Royals battle the Twins in Minnesota. John Dales has those stories and more up next.
Hey, welcome into sports. I'm John Dales. A new era of Joplin Outlaws baseball begins this evening at Joe Becker Stadium. Now, it's the first home game for the team since it became under the control of new ownership and also left the Mink League for the Mid-American League. Now, this game was supposed to start way back at 7:05 tonight. Mother Nature had very different plans, though. There was an hour-and-a-half weather delay prior to the first pitch. However, after all the rain and lightning, we finally got underway about an hour ago. And as we come on the air right now, the Outlaws trail in this game 6-3, bottom of the second inning. Still lots of baseball left to play, though. And switching gears to college basketball, Pittsburgh State women's basketball hires a new assistant coach today, Kelby Fritz, who had been an assistant at Missouri Southern for 6 seasons before working at Indiana State this past year. And Fritz was a player for the Lions from 2009 onto 2012. Pittsburgh State women's basketball head coach Amanda David says this about the hire in a release today, quote, Kelby's experience in the league, regional relationships with recruiting, personality, and work ethic really made this a no-brainer. Well, over to Major League Baseball, the Royals are going through a little bit of a slump right now. They've lost 3 of their last 4 games, but they still enter today in control of the second wildcard spot in the American League. The Royals trying to force a series split with the Twins, and this helps their cause. In the top of the first, Bobby Witt Jr. hits an RBI double off the wall to open up a 3-0 lead. Next inning, MJ Melendez unloads on a pitch down the line in right field. That's gone for a solo home run. Royals up 4-0 at that point. Twins answer back, though. Bottom of the fourth, Ryan Jeffers hits one to nearly the same spot Witt Jr. did. This one gets out for a home run, though. Score's now 4-2. 1 inning later, here's Jeffers again at the plate. This looks pretty similar, doesn't it? Yeah, he hits it to the exact same spot. That's gone in left center for another home run. That makes it 4-3. Next inning, Carlos Correa comes up with the bases loaded, and he's going to clear them with this 3 RBI triple. Off that swing of the bat, the Twins jump in front 7-4. We go ahead into the top of the 9th. Same score at that point. Royals trailing by 3, but Bobby Witt Jr., he's not ready to give up quite yet, though. 2 runs score on this RBI single. That makes it a 1-run game. Very next batter, Vinny Pasquantino. Chance to maybe tie it up. No, instead, he just bounces it back to the pitcher. That ends it. The Royals fall to the Twins on the road 7-6. They've now lost 4 of their last 5. And closing things out in the NBA, Game 5 of the Western Conference Final tonight between the Mavericks and Timberwolves. Dallas has absolutely dominated all throughout. The Mavs lead 103-78 with just over 9 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. They look to be well on their way to winning this series and advancing to the NBA Finals. So the NBA Finals matchup looks like it's going to be the Dallas Mavericks. They haven't won a title since 2011 against the Boston Celtics. They haven't won it since 2008. So somebody's going to win for the first time in a while, and they're 2 very good teams.
And they both get a very long break till the game starts.
Yeah, that's right. Don't even have to play until Thursday.
That's crazy. That's a week away.
I know. Yeah. It's, the way that the NBA decided to do it.
Yeah, well, they can build hype leading up to the
True,
game.
that they can.
Outlaws, though, the game's going to go on pretty late tonight.
It certainly will. You know, hopefully by the time the morning show comes on the air, it wraps up. But we're just glad they were able to play the whole game.
And we'll have some of the highlights.
We certainly will tonight at 10. Yeah.
All right, thanks, John. We'll be back with more news after this. A retired nurse recently opened her home in Webb City, Missouri to share her passion for rug hooking. KOAM's Amber Jenkins has more.
After 42 years of saving lives in the medical field, Kathy Wagner now spends retirement igniting passion in lives through rug hooking.
It was my dream to teach people how to do this rug hooking, and I had an opportunity to do that, and so I have been teaching for the last 3.5 years, and just recently brought the group into my home.
Usually, Wagner offered classes in Kansas under her business, Hooks and Loops. However, this month she decided to open up her home in Webb City, Missouri to share the passion across the state line. According to Wagner, hooking projects can take weeks, months, or even years to complete, but that's a part of the fun.
And why'd you choose jack-o'-lanterns?
Because I like jack-o'-lanterns.
You pull wool strips up through the backing, then makes loops on the backing and fills in the pictures.
Wagner does not only teach, but provides the wool, drawings, of course, the encouragement.
Looks good. Looks really good. There's not very many rug hooking places or organizations around here. You used to have to go to Kansas City or down into Arkansas to buy. And so when I started, I thought, I've got to have stuff for them to do.
Multiple completed projects hang on the walls to remind the participants of the end goal. And when Wagner is asked which is her favorite,
oh goodness.
Reporting in Webb City, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
I've got a bunch upstairs.
For more information about hooks and loops, you can go to KOAMnewsnow.com. Well, a new Western starring Viggo Mortensen is headed to the big screen. Find out what's new in theaters and streaming after the break. From biopics to family dramas to documentaries, we have a look at this week's new releases in theaters and streaming. Here's Fox's Ashley Dvorkin.
I'm going to swim the English Channel.
New in theaters is Young Woman and the Sea with Daisy Ridley as Trudy Ederle, who in 1926 became the first woman to successfully swim the English Channel.
That kid is the one thing that I can't get wrong.
Bobby Cannavale, Rose Byrne, Robert De Niro, and newcomer William A. Fitzgerald star in Ezra. The story follows a stand-up comedian faced with difficult decisions co-parenting his autistic son, who then takes him on what turns out to be a life-changing cross-country road trip.
You live like a dog.
Happy dog.
Viggo Mortensen wrote, directed, and stars in the Western The Dead Don't Hurt alongside Vicky Krieps. They play a couple separated when Mortensen's character goes to fight for the Union in the Civil War, and when reunited are forced to confront violence which struck at home.
I'm very ambitious.
In theaters and on demand is Backspot, executive produced by Elliot Page and starring Evan Rachel Wood. The coming-of-age drama centers on a cheerleader and her girlfriend on an all-star squad, navigating the pressures of the team.
I'm excited to work with you.
In theaters, on digital, and on demand is What You Wish For, following a chef with gambling problems assuming the identity of a friend who cooks private meals at a Latin American villa.
You are a real action star.
Not yet.
Prime Video adds Kevin Hart's action comedy sequel, Die Hard 2, Die Harder.
If you want to defeat ALS, you need everyone working together.
Plus, the streamer has the documentary produced by Katie Couric, For Love and Life, No Ordinary Campaign, about Brian Wallach and his wife Sandra in the aftermath of his ALS diagnosis at age 37.
My name is Jim Henson, and I'm a puppeteer.
While on Disney Plus is Jim Henson, Idea Man, which features interviews with fans and footage from Henson's work throughout his career.
He had so many ideas and so many things he wanted to do.
In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
That's our time for tonight. Thanks for joining us. We're going to leave you with video of Spain's newest panda couple, Gen Z and Zhu Yu. Have a great night and an even better tomorrow.